Mara had 1 coin left. Not enough to change her life. Just enough to buy the small loaf of bread she had been thinking about all day. She closed her fingers around it. Then she saw an old man sitting alone outside the railway station. And suddenly, that coin wasn't hers alone anymore. The old man sat on a bench with a brown envelope in his hands. His head was lowered. Mara noticed something strange. He was trying very hard not to cry. "Mara, are you all right?" "Arthur, I'm fine." He quickly wiped his eyes. "Mara, you don't look fine." Mara sat beside him. She didn't ask too many questions. Some people don't need advice. They just need someone willing to sit beside them. "Arthur, it's a letter to my daughter." "Mara, where is she?" Arthur stared at the envelope. "Arthur, she hasn't spoken to me in 6 years." Mara understood more than Arthur realized. She was struggling too. Her cleaning job had ended 2 weeks earlier. Her rent was overdue. And that morning, she had received another rejection from a job she desperately wanted. Yet she still looked at Arthur and smiled. "Mara, maybe she'll read the letter." "Arthur, you think so?" "Mara, I think people can surprise you." Arthur suddenly reached into his pocket. Then another. Then his bag. His expression changed. "Arthur, my money." "Mara, what happened?" "Arthur, I must have dropped it." He looked towards the bus stop. "I need the fare to get home." Mara's hand slowly went into her pocket. Her fingers touched the coin. 1 coin. Her last coin. She imagined the bakery she had planned to visit. She imagined going to bed hungry. Then she looked at Arthur. "Mara, how much do you need?" "Arthur, just enough for the bus." Mara opened her hand. "Mara, then take this." Arthur stared at the coin. Then at Mara. "Arthur, no. You need this." "Mara, so do you." "Arthur, why would you give away your last coin?" Mara gave a small smile. "Mara, because tomorrow isn't here yet." She placed the coin in his hand. Arthur thanked her. Mara simply waved and walked away. But after a few steps, she stopped. She looked back at the station. For a second, she wondered if she had made the stupidest decision of her life. She passed the bakery. Fresh bread sat behind the glass. Mara stood there for several seconds. Then she laughed quietly at herself. "Mara, well done, Mara." She walked home with empty pockets. When Mara reached home, her landlord was waiting. She already knew what he wanted. "Landlord, Mara, I can't keep waiting." "Mara, I know. I'm trying." "Landlord, you have until tomorrow." He walked away. Mara closed the door. Her smile disappeared. That night, Mara sat on the edge of her bed. No dinner. No job. No money. She looked at her empty palm. For the first time, she wondered whether kindness was sometimes a luxury poor people simply couldn't afford. Then she remembered Arthur's face. The next morning, Mara got up anyway. She dressed in her cleanest clothes. And went looking for work. Again. Because sometimes courage isn't feeling hopeful. Sometimes it's simply getting up when you don't. Her final stop was a small community center. She walked to the reception desk. "Mara, excuse me. Are you hiring?" "Receptionist, I'm afraid not." Mara nodded politely. "Mara, thank you anyway." She turned to leave. Then she heard a familiar voice. "Arthur, Mara?" Mara stared at him. "Mara, what are you doing here?" Arthur smiled. "Arthur, I volunteer here." Mara looked confused. "Mara, you never told me." "Arthur, you never asked." They both laughed. For the first time that morning, Mara felt a little lighter. Arthur handed Mara a piece of paper. It was a job application. "Mara, what's this?" Arthur, a position here. Mara, you got me a job? Arthur shook his head. Arthur, no. I got you an interview. Mara looked at the application. Arthur, the rest is yours. Mara looked at Arthur. Mara, why would you do this for me? Arthur became quiet. Then he said, Arthur, yesterday, you had almost nothing. He looked at her. And you still treated me like I mattered. Mara got the job. It wasn't a fortune. It didn't suddenly solve every problem. But it was steady work. She paid her rent, bought food, and slowly began putting her life back together. A few weeks later, Arthur returned. This time, he was smiling. Arthur, my daughter called. Mara looked up. Mara, she did? Arthur nodded. Arthur, she wants to see me. Mara smiled. Mara, I told you people can surprise you. Arthur laughed. Before leaving, Arthur placed something on Mara's desk. A small coin. Mara recognized it immediately. Mara, you kept it? Arthur, of course. Mara, you were supposed to use it. Arthur smiled. Arthur, I did. Mara looked confused. Arthur looked at her and smiled. I spent it on hope. Mara looked down at the coin. She had thought she was giving away the last thing she had. She didn't realize she was giving someone a reason to keep going. And somehow, that kindness had found its way back to her. Not as money, but as a second chance. Sometimes, the smallest thing we give away becomes the biggest reason someone keeps believing in tomorrow. If you had one coin left, would you have given it out? Tell me in the comments section. Don't fail to like, subscribe and comment. Thank you.